Well, I'm giving myself a little bit of extra time to get this started and make sure everything's working alright. So in the VOD version, you'll probably want to skip ahead a couple minutes. Just check for the spinning book to go away and you'll be good to go, I think. Alright, my controller seems to be working and it's as clicky as ever. I guess it's time to get started. Well, if pre-recording footage of a game I was not completely familiar with was scary, streaming something like this, well, when streaming you have to own up to your mistakes, and that is a little bit intimidating for me. So, how should I handle this? The situation that was giving me trouble before was... Hello. I don't recall saving this. Well, it seems that I've run into a slight problem, but only a slight one, thankfully. I decided to try out one or two things. Fortunately, the multi-save system helps a little bit with that, but... Live and learn. So, this game auto-saves just about every move, so there's no getting out of any particularly bad choices. So I'll tell you what I decided to do. I decided to send my level 1 enchantress and her ghouls on a quest, and I moved our pirate captain up here to hold the fort. On this side, I think I'm going to attack this turn. It looks like I have a decent might advantage over these guys. Although I may have some difficulty with this Archangel right here. Holy Word is no joke. The good news is that if the Arcane Troll does use Holy Word, that'll be it for the MP reserve, I think. Yeah, I won't even be able to get a Divine Ray after that. Even so, it's going to be tricky. The good news is that with such very cost-heavy units here, I should be able to surround them. With the possible exception of Cyrus. So, I will definitely need these unicorns here, so Lorenzo is going to be kind of on healing duty, well, especially because he's a bishop. So he's going to sort of hang back, use the lizardmen as bodyguards, and we'll see what we can do. Now I don't want to send Robelia, mind you. Oh, I see. Very, very nice little control tutorial at the top. I appreciate that. Now, before I commit to this, I should take a look at the battlefield. Yeah, this is a fairly wide open area with just a few forests here and there, so that's going to give the force with more units an advantage. This is unlike the battle over to the left, where when I attack... Oh, wrong button. It's a very enclosed place, so units with flying and mountain type movements will be fine, but overall it's going to be fairly cramped and surrounding the enemy is going to be very difficult, so having fewer high quality units or ranged units will help a lot. Now if the enemy attacks me over here, it's going to be a different situation. No, don't do that just yet. Yeah, this is more of the wide open stuff that I was talking about, although being able to move around well in a forest would help as well. I don't have that in my current forces, though. No mandrakes or centaurs. And it looks like I had to leave a lizardman behind. I'll have to pick that one up later. Something I'll have to remember in the future is that I don't really have access to dragons right now. This, I believe, is the only base I have that can summon them. And I'm gonna need at least a couple, because if you played the original, you know that they start out pretty monstrous and they become even more so, even though they level up slowly. I've also decided that I'm only going to make one of my Rune Knights a big project. I think more than that might not be worth it. And that's going to be my Sorceress. And I believe that's it. I should be able to defend on this side. I doubt the computer will attack without a CP advantage, whatever that stands for. Yay, we're getting a battle in this video. I believe this music is taken from Grand Edition, which is not a big surprise to me. So with this open space, I'll have to try out the Berserker strategy that I mentioned last time. Oh, okay, so A goes in the middle and B and C go on the sides like that. I don't know, well, this might actually matter a lot. Yeah, so the bishop goes in between and he's going to hang back just a little bit. Guinea's going to be on the south because that's pretty much a direct line to their castle. And there we go.
Yo, お前らにも学術認識の標語を教えてやるぜ。実地講義と行こうぜ。
私だって一番になれるはず。この戦いで証明してみせるわ。
I'm getting some Punch-Out vibes from this. Alright, so how am I gonna move from here? So in the approach that I want to take here, well, if they're foolish enough to put their angels in the front line, I'll be happy to let them. Well, they have some agility, but they're also fragile, and wyverns counter them a little bit.
さて、強いやつからひねり潰してやる。
This is... oh wow, sea serpents actually move faster than I expected. Well, that's good. So the idea is to have Ginny, or Guinea in particular, take up a whole lot of frontline space, which gives the other stuff room to move around and surround the enemy. Well, that's the theory, though. I have no idea how well that works in practice. I guess we'll find out. I'm not gonna do that strategy with 2 berserkers, though. I think that that would probably overburden the healing resources that I got, even though I have a healing rune knight and 2 unicorns. Okay, so it used to be that giant snakes, or hydras in the old game, could only move 3 hexes, I think? At least when they were on land. But that seems to have changed. And these things are fairly scary, although a little less tanky than I remember.
了解だ。
And I imagine the enemy's going to rearrange themselves a little bit. So I should expect to take a lot of single target damage here. Well, at the very least from Divine Ray. And they do have a fair amount of healing on their side, but... well, it depends on how they decide to use their MP. If I get a good whirlwind attack, I might just force their angels to heal stuff, which would be great news for me. I'd rather deal with that than, say, a holy word. Right, so this stuff gives me a lot of room to spread out, which I appreciate. I believe my bishop can also use Divine Ray, and I need to consider that. Especially because the enemy has a golem. Being able to put down something like that quickly could be very helpful.
Yosh, 敵を探してやっつけてやる。
わかりました。
That strikes me as a bit of a waste. I mean, if it was on a unit that had low accuracy, that would be one thing. I guess they're just coded to use whatever buffs are available to them. But as for me, I'd much rather have a heal than a halo in most situations. I mean, that spell dang near cut the Pegasus's MP in half. Okay, well, the enemy is moving forward a bit. This guy doesn't seem to like the forest, so... Let's see, let me think carefully about how I'm going to space this out. I definitely want the... Lizardmen and the Wyvern to be on the side over there. And I need to zoom in a little bit. Okay, well, I guess that's what that analog stick is for. So let me think about how I'm gonna handle this. I don't think any of these guys are really forest experts, so I can afford to have one enemy unit in there. It might even end up being a flying unit, at which point it wouldn't matter at all. So we'll have to see how aggressive the enemy is. This seems like a good time to just spend most of my effort on my formation here. Let's see how determined they are to attack my Rune Knights. Right, now this guy is going to move the Lizardmen up on these two tiles, so I want to move along this way, I'd say. Yeah, I think this will be okay. And it's perfectly fine for a giant snake to be up around here. I'd be okay with the evasion -10 for my sea serpent, or whatever, giant hydra. They changed the names. Maybe it was just too cumbersome to 3D render a hydra in the style of Brigandine, but still, having the terminology changed like that is a little annoying. Right, so I want to put this one in a good position to cast Frost. And I don't think they have the ability to rush this one. Not with all this stuff in the way. Oh. Maybe I was overestimating how smart the normal AI is. I mean, I expected them to be fairly reserved. That's how the old Brigandine AI was, at least on higher difficulties. But I didn't expect them to be just spamming buffs like that. Having access to buffs might actually make the AI easier, at least on normal.
任せて。大活躍してみせるから。はっ。
Huh.
わかりました。
Well, I guess they are being aggressive, aren't they? Let's take a look at where I can put these guys. Now, locking up this guy especially is good because it's not all that durable. And my sea serpent is in an okay position to breathe in this line here. Especially because it'll hit a rune knight fairly hard. So, how many of these do I have, though? I have actually 2. Okay, water breath it is. Now this is... He is going to be in targeting range for a lot of stuff if I try that, though. In particular, he's probably going to get a Divine Ray from that Archangel. So that might be a little bit reckless even for me. Oh well. Looks like I might have to try something different. Alright, new plan. Whoa, dang. Oh, I such a low accuracy. An alternative is to... So what do we have here? Alright, this next move is going to affect a lot, so I want to be very careful about it. If I move a Wyvern here, he's going to be counter-surrounded and almost certainly die. But being air to air, I think it will have a good chance of hitting this elemental. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, sure, I'll go with that. Maybe I can find another thing to hit it with. Yeah, so if I move Guinea up here, that might lure the enemy into attacking him. Or if not, he'll be in a good position to move next turn. But this way he'll be... I can easily move the Wyvern away as well, if I am in a good situation for a whirlwind attack. I I just need to figure out what to do with this lizard man, though. I think over here would be good in case I need say, the wyvern to back off and go somewhere else. Yeah, I think that'll work. Right, so where am I gonna direct this person's stuff? Well, along here I think I can pull off a surround without too much trouble. Especially if I move here. That'll pull off a pretty nasty surround. But the problem is most of this stuff is fairly resistant. So... well, maybe nah. Okay. Pegasus has fairly high intelligence, so does Archangel. It might actually be better for me to use magic resistance on something. Actually, what am I thinking? I'm in an excellent position for more breath attacks. I mean, surrounding the enemy is nice and all, but...
oh, ここは一気に攻め込むチャンスだな。
I might as well use this while I can. Though I admit the damage doesn't seem that great. I guess that's one of the ways that these things were toned down from one game to the next. Right, okay, so I think what's showing here is the effects of the enemy flying here, that decrease in accuracy. And is there anything else that my siren can do that might be useful? I don't think I really need anything to fly right now. So what targets do I want for this one? I'd like to hit the rock, and that'll probably have to wait until next turn. I don't especially like having to wait another turn before I can have a unit do something, but that's how it is.
Oh. ここは一気に攻め込むチャンスだな。
This seems like a good move. Hitting the enemy healer will probably cause some problems. Yeah, let's go with that. And it might prompt the enemy to surround this guy too, which will also lead to problems for them.
Yotto.
Although, granted, he's probably gonna eat a Divine Ray, but... hey, what you gonna do? Actually, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. And I think I'll have a good chance for Frost next turn, because the enemy's gonna move forward more. I don't think an attack here is going to be that great. Yeah. Although, you know, I think that Rune Knights have been made tankier overall, because I don't recall attacks being reduced that much against them in the original.
命令はこれも定めだ。
Oh, interesting. Please move around here. They'll make things even better. Right, so what can this guy reach? That is an interesting question to me. Let's see, rocks don't count as being holy in this game, do they? If I'm gonna use a Divine Ray, it should be now. But I don't have it. I have Holy Word. Would that be a good move, though? I would have one heal after that. And I have to consider my targets. I don't think this is a great formation for that. A lot of the enemies are far away. Yeah, the total curve of this battlefield is not great, especially considering the enemies that are strong against Holy. So I think I'm gonna be better off having him just heal for this battle. Once I can start fielding my heavy hitters around the flanks, I should be able to do pretty well. And I don't want the lizardmen to risk themselves too much. Although, using a normal attack on this guy might not be a bad idea. Oh. Okay, well I guess it could have been worse. But still, that was rather unfortunate. Could have changed things a bit. And I'm not really sure what else I should do right now. I don't think they really have the power to dogpile my wyvern just yet. No, wait. Well, they can Divine Raid if they really want to. That could be messy. But I'm actually... we'll see. Actually, I think I go before he does. Yeah, level 14 versus level 22. Yeah, I definitely go first, so I should be able to turn things around a little bit. Alright, end of turn. Did you just surround yourself? Yeah, you just surrounded yourself. So that holy word looked really bad, but it's not actually the worst that could have happened. The total damage was high, but a lot of the targets are enemies that they won't be able to focus. Okay, so the regen did come into play, to be fair. So the next thing I need to do is ask whether or not a whirlwind would be worth it here. if I do that, I'm going to be giving up a Wyvern attack on this guy. So I'm leaning no. So I need to consider what I'll be able to do. I think now a Holy Word is a better move because more enemies are in range. Not from this guy, of course. Well, things are complicated. What can I say? I think I'll have to back off if this plan is going to work. But that'll have to wait one more turn, I think. Well, then again, they aren't going to move those imps forward, so what exactly am I waiting for? The thing is, I don't know exactly how good this attack is going to be. Man, I've never played so afraid as this. So, do I have a decent shot at hitting those imps? It's not so great, but if I do hit, it's an instant kill, so I might as well give it a try. Oh well. So you have to move forward. You're gonna give a normal attack a try. Alright, that's pretty good. Now this is where I might be able to pull off an advantage if I move this right. Like, here especially. This is where I can turn it around if I know what I'm doing. Right, so, I definitely want my sea serpents to, or hydras, whatever, to beat this person up. Because she's fainted, she can't fight back, and my attacks should automatically hit. That is some low damage, though. That is not some great luck on my part.
Oh, ここは一気に攻め込むチャンスだな。
Well, that's another story, isn't it? And he is in range of unicorn healing, I think. So let's go with that. Granted, there is a 6% chance that I'll just have immediate regret, but what can you do? Or maybe I won't regret it. Oh, this is a good chance to level up my lizard man, I'd say. Got some revenge for that previous crit. And that's why you shouldn't move so that you surround yourself, especially your Rune Knight. I don't care how tough she is.
なかったなんてルド様に言えない。
You need to go back to tactics school, I'm afraid. Not that I'm that much better. If they didn't pull off a blunder like that, I'd be in rather serious trouble. That's a lot of levels. Wow. And I might capture a Pegasus. That's pretty nice. Alright. So, who's next? Maybe Cyrus is next, actually. Or the Golem. Actually, what one would be a better target? Well, the Golem has 0 magic resist, so I'd definitely be able to deal good damage. Huh. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Because the monk, these lizard men won't be able to hit him that hard. I think I can surround the golem, and you know, total damage is a little better.
了解だ。
Ooh, they are really going after my lizard now. Well, that's okay. They're kind of here to be expendable. So, how should I deal with this? I think now, as I said, Holy Word is a decent move. I don't think that's going to kill the Pegasus. And it's probably a good thing that it doesn't. It's weird. I thought I'd have to heal my Rune Knights a lot, but turns out not as much as I thought. That being said, putting some healing on this guy would be a very good idea. And on the lizard man as well. If for no reason, then they seem to be targets that the enemy likes to aim for, which is nice because they do have that shield guard skill. And I think you are gonna stay where you are. Although you are probably going to die. I got it. That is, I have to admit, not ideal. Actually, I guess I learned something about monks now. They're actually really good at melee when there's a space behind the enemy because it prevents counterattacks. And speaking of counterattacks, you definitely want to minimize Berserker counterattacks because that's kind of their specialty. So, I think you're in a good spot. Yeah. So now's when I can be a little bit gutsy, because there's not much that can follow up on him right now. Whew. I think that if I was going to do this again, I'd attach the Siren to him and cast Flight so he can hit this stuff more reliably. Even so, killing an angel is a pretty big coup, I would say. You saw how much heft the game assigned that sort of thing. Oh, really? I guess that's how it works, huh? This is one of the things that's fairly interesting to me. It surrounds those two guys at the bottom. I'd love to learn more about how exactly the surround system works in this game. So, this is actually a little tricky, but I think I should use Water Breath here, because it'll probably kill the imp. Yep, sure did. And this guy is going to be focused a bit, which is bad news for him, but what can I do?
Oh, 賢く立ち回ってやるよ。
I think that if I move this correctly, I should be able to start surrounding enemies on this side too. And I believe I can throw out a second frost to kill the golem immediately. So I guess my frost target was correct after all.
Oh, ここは一気に攻め込むチャンスだな。
Oh, it's a chance for me, for sure. You got that right.
やっと。
So what else should I start hitting? Do I have any aqua breath or water breath left? Probably. Oh yeah, I do. They have more uses of that than I thought. Well, that's going to be helpful. Hitting tough enemies like that without being countered? Sure. That's going to be very risky. But let me check the levels to see. Yeah. My bishop is going to move before their monk, so I should be okay. It's not like that guy on the south part of the map can move around. You know, that of course is the drawback of the monk's pushback attack. Well, not that it would have mattered in this case, but you gotta be very careful where you put them, because enemies can dogpile you like so. Well, there it is. I lost a lizard man, sure, but They have it a little bit worse than I do. And hey, I can level up... I can either level up a Lizardman or get that experience on my Bishop, but the Bishop is a long way from another promotion, so I shouldn't lean too heavily on him. Before I do anything else... Alright, so... yeah, that is a guaranteed kill. With that in mind, let's see if there's anything else I can kill first. For example, how much could I deal to this rock if I concentrated my stuff on him? Okay, never mind. That flying penalty is something fierce, isn't it? That's why I think it might be a good idea to bring more mermaids in the future. Like, having 2 on the team seems pretty good for when the enemy has a lot of flying stuff. With that in mind, I might as well do the old role-playing game standby of use the heal spells even if I don't really need it, just for more experience. I think I missed a kill on that imp in the back. Oops. Take a good look, because you're not going to see me do something like this very often. I think 1 is the minimum damage, actually. And, oh, surrounding the enemy increases your crit rate, too. Good to know. Not that it matters in this case, of course. But hey, oh, right, I forgot. The experience you get depends at least somewhat on the damage you deal if it's not a kill. They sure weren't. Actually, compared to the people next to you, your defense was not all that great. Well, some things I learned. I knew that buffs were a fairly big deal, but I didn't know that the sword fighter class had such a sharp evasion up skill. Might be worth bringing someone with spell break just for that. Provided that it's something that's guaranteed to work, because I haven't had the chance to use that spell before. So, aside from capturing the castle... wow. The biggest thing that happened from there is capturing that Pegasus. I think I'll be able to get some very good use out of that one later on. And by later on, that I may very well be next turn. Or next strategic turn. Oh wow, one of my giant snakes is almost ready to promote. Well, that could have been very bad, but the enemy made it... ugh. It's... that was such an awful move that I'm not entirely sure how to describe it. If anyone watches the VOD later on, I encourage you to come up with a fun way to describe the wisdom of moving a key unit in and surrounding itself so that I could beat it up. Alright, so I sent you out on a quest to just gain some experience, and let's see what happened. Alright. Always nice to have a Rune Knight gain a level. Alright. Very good health growth. Wow, no growth except for health. I mean, yes, I know health is the thing, they're meat shields, but still, well, more like bone shields with the way that looks, but man, that's some awful growth. Except for that guy. That guy's okay. I think. Ooh. Alright, so that experience quest was well worth it. And let's check what other quests I can do right now. Yep, it looks like I can quest for a new Rune Knight. That's nice. That'll be very helpful when I need to guard more borders, although I'll probably have to spend some time summoning a monster army for them. Huh, I didn't get any kind of history page for that. That's a little bit of a shame. But whatever. Well, that battle took a while, didn't it? I apologize for the slowness in deciding what moves to make. As I said, I'm very new to this game, even though I'm familiar with Brigandine in general. This particular game has a lot of quirks about it that I'm going to have to work out. And I think this stream has gone on for a pretty decent amount of time. So I'll do a little bit of moving stuff around and summoning off camera, and next time, well, we'll see what I do. I think their defenses along this line are going to be weaker, because those two Rune Knights are going to be disabled for a turn. And they lost a couple of important monsters. Along this side, it might not be a bad idea for me to attack here, because I can probably arrange a better setup now. For example, having this demon in the back line ready to throw some high-powered offensive spells would be very helpful in the sort of choke point that I'm likely to run into in the fortress above. Yep. Well, I guess we'll see how that turns out next time, shall we? Until then, you know what? Maybe when I put together a sentence, I should figure out how it's going to end before I start talking. But save the game, and I'll see you next time. Later.